Come on. Ooh. Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of my weird little podcast. It's me, Tia. I'm here, always weird, always talking about weird stuff because I'm the weird girl that you all know. We have Teresa here,
Hi
zooming in,
guys.
zooming in from California for now. Yep. This is probably going to be the
For now.
last one from California for a while. Stay tuned, everyone. There's going to be big changes and hopefully positive changes. Um, yes. With that being said, I'm gonna open my drink. I'm gonna drink this. I've got a lovely buzz ball that is
Oh, the fuzzball.
cocoa chiller. Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm pouring my buzz ball into my skull coffee mug because I'm trying to be fancy and I'm out of coffee.
Nice.
Hopefully you can hear that sound. Are you drinking anything special?
I am. It's my favorite Cutwater brand, but this time it is a Long Island iced tea. Yeah.
Ooh,
And it is pretty
Long
lethal.
Island.
Yes. It's honestly, I know Cutwater, please, you can plug us at any time. You can hire us at any time. But
Yeah.
I love your cocktails in the can. They are the best. They're
Mhm.
so easy because you don't have to make anything. You just open the can and drink. That's awesome.
Oh, geez. I love Long Island iced tea.
hmm
Um, which is basically what is it in a Long Island iced tea? Now that I'm trying to think about it. I mean, it
I
tastes
will,
like iced tea, but it's like Coca-Cola and something else. I don't know,
yes.
and a bunch of other
So
things.
it has vodka, it has rum, and it usually has um gin. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the back of the can just to confirm all the ingredients. Yeah, so it's got two shots of oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important lethal one, tequila. So it's got
Oh, ugh.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's got two shots of tequila, gin, rum, and vodka. So
Yeah,
say goodbye to your liver.
that's a whole lot of things in one.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
It's
so what
lethal. It's more lethal than you thought, isn't
yeah,
it?
a little bit.
Yeah.
So what's new in your life? And then I'll tell you what's new in my life, what I've been up to this week.
What's new in my life? Okay, well, I'll just spill the beans. We already hinted at it.
Hmm.
Everybody, I'm moving to Las Vegas.
Woohoo.
Oh
Yay.
my gosh, yay. A week from today, I will be um, living in Las Vegas. So, Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was any other one, in case you
Yeah.
were questioning, but
There is actually another
is
Las
there?
Vegas.
Oh, there is. It's in New Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe I think so. I don't know why I said that. That sounded so angry. Like there is another Las Vegas. That sounded really angry.
I know the people that live there are probably saying that to me right now. But yeah.
Yeah. Like there's two Hollywoods. There's a Hollywood in Florida.
Yes.
Not been to Hollywood, Florida, but I heard they're great. I don't know. I don't know anything about Hollywood,
Yeah.
Florida.
Wait,
Yes,
but was that
coming.
what? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say yes, you're coming to Las Vegas and we're all very
Yeah.
excited about it. Um, you have no idea. I need my best friend here really badly, and I'm not gonna cry, but
Oh,
I do. I need it. I need you here. Um, so there are selfish reasons on my part why I'm excited about it because I definitely want my friend here. But I'm hoping you like it because I like it a lot. And we're gonna do cool stuff with cool people. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
I'm
So
excited too. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
yes. Uh, with that being said, I'm exhausted because I drove to California and back yesterday. Was that yesterday? Oh my goodness. I went to Not Scary Farm and back in a 24-hour period. Uh, had a great time, would not recommend doing that. I would recommend planning better. Um, you know. But there was unforeseen circumstances, which is why I had to like come back so quickly and go to work at 8 a.m. the next day. So yeah, that was a whole thing. But that was fun. I got to finally meet my friend Mitchell in person, who I've never met him. We were just friends from the internet. I like to meet strangers from the internet. He's the second friend from the internet that I have met in person now. My friend Nick, I met him via the internet. But that's just how life is now, like I don't know, like we don't really go out and go to bars. I find going to bars and like meeting people to be much more unsafe than meeting people through like Facebook or mutual friends via
Yeah.
the internet,
Yeah. Mm.
or like Facebook groups and stuff. Like, I don't know, every person I've met in a bar who has decided to talk to me was unsavory AF. So that is yeah. But speaking of bars, when you get here, we're gonna do punk rock musical Mondays. That's a LA thing. We're gonna do punk rock karaoke on Monday at Berlin, and we're gonna do goth nights at Artifice on Saturday, and we're gonna do a bunch of other stuff. I don't know. I want
Sweet.
the list. Yeah,
Yeah. That
and
sounds
hopefully
awesome. I love
you
it.
have time to do you, and I don't take up all your time wanting to do all the things.
No.
Yeah. My friend Nick and I were already talking about the things we're gonna do. Anyways, that is enough of a tangent. Sorry, I'm just overly excited. Yes, you're coming to Vegas and it's going to be awesome. What is
Yay.
something, okay, random. What is something that you are looking forward to that, in Vegas that,
In
might,
Vegas? Yeah.
might not be something that's usual?
Um, Something that's not usual.
Hmm.
Well, I'm, you know, I'm interested in getting to know the spookier side of Vegas,
Yeah.
like I just don't feel like I know enough about any of the ghost stories of Las Vegas. So I'm interested to, I know that you and Patrick went on that night when you guys went to was it the El Cortez
We went to
hotel
the
that you went to?
Apache. We went to the Apache.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh, okay.
sure El Cortez is haunted too. I'm sure it is. But we went to
Hmm.
Apache, which is one of the older hotels. It's built in like 1932. It's at the back of
Oh,
Unions. And it's not ever really like, I don't know, like people don't say it's like one of the oldest hotels, but it really is older than, I want to say it's older than El Cortez, which is usually what people say is like the oldest hotel uh in Vegas. Well, it's not the oldest. The oldest is
okay.
technically
Yeah.
the uh the what is it? Golden Gate. Golden Gate is technically the oldest, but Golden Gate has changed ownership
Okay.
and name and has an extension. But part of
Okay.
Golden Gate is the oldest hotel.
Oh,
But Apache's really old, and they claim to be haunted. It's pretty funny because they like really put that in your face, when you at check-in, they're like, we're haunted. And
yeah.
every room has like a little placard outside of the room with like a ghost story of like somebody's encounter, not necessarily with that room, but just in general. And uh
Mm.
you could like, it's made in the 30s, so the walls are paper thin and the rooms are super small and they're totally close to each other, and there's like, you're getting a bed and you're getting a toilet, and that's what you're getting. um, there. And it was so funny because Pat and I were just like in our room, sitting for a while, and we could hear everybody at check-in coming into their rooms down the hallway, and they're like, "Whoa, is this place haunted? Do you think this place is haunted?" Because they're like reading these placards that are making it like so obvious.
Hmm.
It was pretty funny. I was like, yeah, like that would be kind of weird if you didn't plan that
Yeah.
staying there. Um,
Yeah. Of
to me, that's a
course.
bonus. Haunted is a bonus. To other people, they're like not into that stuff. But
Exactly.
you know,
No, that's exactly the hotel I was thinking of then. I don't know why I said El Cortez. I think it's been, I don't know.
El
Anyway,
Cortez is
that was the
old
one I was
too.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Okay.
El Cortez is
Okay.
old. Haunted hotels in Vegas. We're gonna go probably Golden Gate, probably uh the Apache, probably El Cortez, the
Yeah.
Flamingo, and then I would say Luxor, especially. Not only because someone okay, so Vegas Starfish, who is this like TikToker who talks all about Vegas, was
Mm.
made a comment that Luxor is actually death themed, like their theme is death. Um,
Oh,
and if you really think about it, it is because what is a pyramid? A pyramid most
yeah.
of the time is a burial like mausoleum, with
Right.
someone buried inside of it. And
Hmm.
their exhibits are King Tut and the Titanic and bodies are their exhibits that are inside, and they're incredible. I've done King Tut and Titanic. Titanic was fantastic, by the way. Uh,
Mm.
Definitely fantastic. That is like a place I want to work really badly. I've not done bodies because I'm like super squeamish when it comes to that stuff, and you wouldn't think so, but I'll probably do it at some point.
Mm.
Um, but there have been several deaths at the Luxor as well,
Mm.
because of its design, where the it's inside of the pyramid and the hallways kind of wrap around, but from the top of the pyramid you can look down into the casino for over the edge, and there's been at least one person to jump from
Wow.
there. So yeah, and I don't know. Luxor honestly is the first place I stayed when I came to Vegas. I think I want to say it's the first place I stayed when I came to Vegas, and I've just been always so fascinated with it. Um,
Yeah.
and when she said it was a hotel themed on death, I was like, she said it like it was a negative thing, but I was like, oh, it really is.
Right.
That
You're
is
like, yeah.
fantastic. That is
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
I was all about it, but that's me and my macabre ass here.
Well,
So
that's why we're all here, right?
yeah. I mean, that's why whoever's listening, our six subscribers, are listening. So yeah. Anyways, what do you have for us today?
Today, I'm going to be talking about the Island of the Dolls,
Oh, yes. Okay. All right.
or,
I'm down.
or more properly known as La Isla de las Muñecas, because it is located in Mexico. Yeah, this has been something that has been on my mind for a while, and I just needed a little jump start to remember that I wanted to talk about it.
Hmm.
So I came across something recently, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the Island of the Dolls." Yeah, I would really love to get into that. Um, so, I mean, dolls are pretty polarizing. Most people either love them or hate them, right?
Yeah.
I'm on the love side, even when the vibe is creepy and spooky, as it definitely is here. And I'd heard about the Island of the Dolls, like I said, for years. And after everything I've read and researched and seen, I hope to someday still visit the authentic original island. And I say that specifically because there's, you know, something I'll get into later that is a reason why I would like to go to the original island. Um, and just, I don't know if anybody out there knows this, but I just learned this upon doing this research. But do you know what the fear of dolls is called? Like if you have a fear of dolls?
No, I don't.
No. It's called pediophobia.
Hmm.
Pediophobia. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, I had never heard. Um, so getting back to the island of the dolls, though, the actual island itself is known as a chinampa, or in English, a floating island. Um, and it's a chinampa on the Laguna de Tequila. Yes, that's actually what the lake is
Oh,
called.
very cool.
I was like, it doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. Um, and that is in the channels of Xochimilco, which is just south of the center of Mexico City, Mexico. And fun fact, from where I am right now, which is in Acton, California, basically just north of LA, uh, I am currently only 3 hours and 35 minutes away by plane from Mexico City. But then it would take a little bit longer to get there. But still, I was like, wow, I'm only like about 4 hours away from this place. That's awesome. I'm not going to be able to go, but I wish I was. Um, so, as the legend goes, in the 1950s, uh, there was a man named Don Julian Santana Barrera, and he left his wife and his family behind to relocate to this very small island, this floating island. And he essentially sequestered himself. He was like a hermit, basically. So it's kind of unclear why Don Julian would have made this move, but many people, including his family members, say that he was just not in his right mind. And legend also says that Don Julian is said to have either come across the body of a young girl floating in the canals, or that he may have failed to save a girl from drowning in the canals. And that is what kind of started the whole doll obsession for him.
Yeah.
Um, so the first time, or I'm sorry, the next day that after he saw the girl in the canals, he found a doll drifting down the canal, and he believed that it must belong to the girl. So he took the doll and he hung the doll from a tree in her memory, and also as a talisman to ward off evil spirits. So it's said that after her death, the young girl's spirit haunted the island, and that at that point that Don Julian began hanging up any dolls he could find to appease her. And he did this in a very interesting ways. Like he basically like I said, this became an obsession for him. And he was said to have found hundreds of dolls. One article I read even claimed it was thousands, but I mean, who knows? But it was definitely in the hundreds of dolls that were on the island, and he would find them just going through the trash, or they sometimes would float up, I guess, occasionally. It said that he even traded people uh, for like vegetables with the dolls. So
Interesting.
Yeah. He was very, very, very attached to this idea that having this many dolls on the island would kind of protect him in a way, I guess, because in the floating island aspect of the land, the islands are still there and people do live there sometimes. And they will harvest crops like maize, squash, and other kind of crops like that. But when Don Julian was on this land, I guess, trying to harvest his crops, they wouldn't grow. And he thought it was directly due to this spirit of this girl. Um, so he, thought maybe the dolls would appease her or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, he just started to hang up the dolls, and the dolls are in all different states of disrepair. Like he would hang them up, say they're falling apart, the limbs are falling off, or, you know, I don't know, whatever. They look old and dirty and like they're falling apart. He would just hang them up anyway. And then even if they were looking newer than that, eventually by being up there for years and years, the elements would get to them. So they would just start to look all creepy and, spooky anyway on their own.
Yeah, no. I've seen photos and it's
Yeah.
pretty creepy seeing just like dolls and body parts hanging everywhere. Also, there's tons of spiders on
Hmm.
uh definitely there's like tons of spiders all over the island, which I'm like super scared of. So,
Oh,
yeah,
is there? I didn't
no.
know about the spiders. Oh
Yeah.
my
Uh
God.
spiders crawling out of dolls is probably my biggest fear.
Oh,
Not
really?
just dolls themselves, but like a spider crawling out of like the eye socket of a doll sounds uh
Ooh.
pretty terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Um, yeah, there are actually some really good pictures. Just on the internet in general, probably, but specifically if you go to I don't know if anybody out there is an Atlas Obscura fan, but I love Atlas Obscura and their website. If you go to, their website and then you type in this story, you'll find, really good pictures on there. And then also on TripAdvisor, actually, too.
Uh,
Um, I know because
come
yeah,
visit
I
the
didn't
island
expect.
of the dolls.
Yes, exactly. People have left their many opinions about it. And yes, I didn't
Well,
expect TripAdvisor to be in the search, but of course it was there. So, um, because I guess they wanted to talk about the tour mostly. But I'll get into that in a minute. But back to Don Julian. Uh, so where was I? Oh, so yeah, this girl though, the girl that supposedly drowned in the water, in the waterway, right outside where Don Julian decided to live on that island. Did she really exist? It's a mystery right now. Um, a lot of people say, including his family members, that he was just a slave to this entity that he basically created for himself. They say that maybe he just imagined that it all happened. It certainly does sound mysterious, for one. Um, but, I mean, who's to say? I mean, the doll factor alone definitely just ups the creepiness by like a million billion. But, um, you know, I don't know who's to say if she was actually real or not. But yeah, I mean, I talked about how he he considered the dolls to be protective. Um, he thought that maybe he really was, um, causing something positive to happen by having all these dolls around. And, beyond that, he would do this for the next 50 years or so.
Jeez
Uh,
Louise.
yeah, because yeah, can you imagine? I mean, I can't. But he died in 2001, and I've read a couple different accounts. One that said that possibly he died of a heart attack, which would be, pretty standard death, right? A lot of people die of heart attacks. But most of the accounts that I've read said that he actually drowned as well, of the body of the girl, the little girl that he said that he discovered years ago. Uh, so he basically met the same fate as the little girl.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any more poetic, I guess, than that.
Right.
uh, but that's of course still part of the legend. But I mean, for me, as a listener and a believer, if I'm going to choose between he died of a heart attack or he died drowning in the same spot as the little girl, I'm going to choose the latter. So,
Yeah.
I think yeah, I mean, who knows exactly what happened, but by all accounts, it seems that Don Julio was just a very, very, very devoted person to the spirit of this girl and kind of making sure that there were enough offerings, I guess you could call it, around the island. So, oh, and here's another fun fact about our late Mr. Don Julian. So his nephew came to help him on the island. I don't know, probably just manage life. He was in his 80s at this point, in the early 2000s, right before he died. So when his nephew was there on the island with him, Don Julian said to him at one point, and I guess he seemed to be very joyful about it. They even said that he was singing, and he said that the mermaids were calling for him in the water.
Hmm.
So, you know, another question of, okay, what's really happening here? But that's
Yeah,
apparently what he told his nephew. So,
that's interesting,
yeah.
'cause that could be, I mean, that could be part of his hyper fixation on this girl and, the situation and the dolls and
Hmm.
everything, and him to feel like, you know, something's calling out to him and he's interpreting it as mermaids, as
Hmm.
best as he can interpret it, or you could believe that there's like a voice from the water calling to him and he's interpreting it as mermaids, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
that's pretty spooky, you know.
Pretty spooky.
Traditionally
Yeah.
mermaids are very scary.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. They're not like Ariel. No.
No, they call out to you and they pull you under the water. Super
Yeah. It's the
spooky.
siren song, right? Yeah. Oh,
Ugh.
yeah. Yeah. So, no, I feel you. Um, so yeah, after Don Julio's death in 2001, his family opened the island to the public as a tourist attraction. And you know, the dolls were all there, all hundreds of them in different states of disrepair. I I had to take this down because I was like, oh, that quote is just awesome. So Frommer's, am I saying it right? Frommer's, the travel guide, one of the travel guides or whatever.
Mm.
Anyway, I read an article from that somebody wrote from Frommer's, and he called it, quote, an FAO Schwartz of the damned. Like FAO Schwartz, the toy store.
Oh my
I
goodness.
was like, that's funny. I have to write that down.
Amazing.
um, so yeah, he said that all the dolls look like an FAO Schwartz of the damned. So I said that was probably a pretty good description of what it must look like, or what you can see in the pictures, but then what it must look like up close. So yeah, on the island itself, of course, there's the dolls, and then there's supposedly three huts and a small museum with articles from local newspapers about both the island and about Don Julian, sorry. I see I'm drinking the tequila partially, and I just said Don Julio, which is not his name. It's Don
Yeah.
Julian. So
I thought you were
apologies.
saying Don Julio this entire
But
time anyway, so
no, I'm saying Don Julian. Um, um, so yeah. And then so he lived in a one-room hut on the island. And so in the one-room hut that he slept in, the first doll he collected apparently is displayed. And also, Augustina, his favorite doll, is also displayed there. Um, so that's interesting.
Mhm.
So visit. You can visit this island. Um, and you can visit this island by, it's called a trajinera. And if you've never, heard of it, it's like essentially like a big wide boat. It's kind of like a float, honestly, is what it looks like. And they're usually very bright and colorful. So it's kind of ironic that this really bright and colorful ferry is bringing you to
Yeah.
this island of creepy, beyond creepy, decrepit looking dolls, mostly. Um, so it's a gondola like boat, essentially. But yeah, it's a ferry. And that's the only way that you can get to this place. So if you want to look up more specific information on how to get there, obviously you can just Google it. But yeah, it's not. You would go to Mexico City first of all, and then you would have to go to. I forget what the place is called. Just Google it. You'll find it. Uh, but when it takes you to a dock, essentially. I can't remember the name of the dock right now. Is what's escaping me. But when you get to the dock, then you take this sorry, I want to say it right. Trajinera. You take the trajinera over to the island. And be warned, it's about a 4-hour round trip deal. So it would basically take most of your day. But it's said that most of the tours include a tour of like the ecological area, which is essentially all around it. It sounds beautiful, honestly, and it said that you could see a lot of wildlife as well. Um, yeah, but the tour cost almost $100 per person, US money. So, um, yeah, it's not cheap either. Um, and it gets interesting, apparently, when visitors get to the island, and this is more with the spooky side of things because visitors to the island claimed that the dolls, they have seen them move their heads, arms,
Ugh.
and open their eyes
Ugh.
all of their own accord. Uh, the visitors also claim to have heard the dolls whispering to each other.
Ugh. No,
What are
thank you.
what are they saying though? Kill, kill. No, who knows?
Yeah, I know.
Uh, so uh, many people often place offerings there in exchange for hopefully miracles and blessings is what they hope they will receive. Don Julian put up so many dolls because he thought he was protecting himself and also perhaps, I guess, protecting his land and his any crops that may grow his agriculture. So yeah, now people still do the same today. And honestly, I'll tell you now, if I was going to visit that island, and I hopefully will someday, because I would really like to, yes, I will bring a gift. I'm not bringing a gift to that place because
Right.
it sounds like if you don't bring a gift, that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
And So some place offerings there, in exchange for miracles and blessings, but some also change the doll's clothes
Hmm.
and they maintain the island as basically a form of worship. So yeah, it's pretty interesting and also very bizarre, and also fascinating, obviously. But yeah, um, I guess that's what's said that actually happens. So getting back to the why I said that I hope someday to visit the original authentic island is because there are apparently a lot of scams out there. And that's really, I know, I mean, it sounds weird, like scams about the island of the dolls,
Rip
but
off
there
doll
are.
islands.
Um, yes, there's knockoffs.
That's so
And it's all
funny.
opportunists. It's, yeah, people looking to make a buck. Uh, and that was what I found out through TripAdvisor when I was looking through the reviews and the pictures on there. And it seemed to get bad after 2020. Go figure, right?
Mm.
But you know, even prior to that, people were saying like beware scams, like um I don't even know. This is my one question. I wrote it down too. I'm like, is it still possible even to visit the original island? I don't know if anybody out there can answer that, but it's I would be interested to know because it seems like from what I was reading, that maybe it's not, I'm not sure because it seems like you pay for some of these tours and um, they take you to the false island, the fake
Mhm.
island, uh, that has, they've also, thrown up the dolls on the trees and who knows, tried to recreate a whole scene or whatnot. I'm telling you now, that would piss me off. I would not want to be going to a replica island
Yeah.
and having believed that I was on the actual island and I wasn't. And then paid a bunch of money to boot to do that. So
Yeah.
um, I'm not sure because I read some things too that um that it was said that his family opened it as a tourist attraction after he died. But then I read another thing that said that the family removed all the dolls or something like that, and it was just a park at that point. So
Mhm.
I'm not, and having not been there myself, of course, I'm not sure what to believe. So yeah, if anybody out there wants to clear it up, please do. Or when I get there eventually someday myself, I'll clear it up. But yeah, that is, I thought was funny that, yeah, there's scams to the the doll island, but there are.
Yeah,
So
knockoff islands. I
yeah.
mean, that kind of makes sense, to capitalize on an attraction and create a knockoff, you
Yeah.
know. That just like feels like all of those like stores around Disneyland in Anaheim that
Hmm.
like sell Disney stuff for super cheap, you
Right.
know. Uh
Yeah.
but it's like not Disney merchandise. And it's like even as a kid, like the magic wasn't quite there. Like
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I caught on real quick, like, this isn't authentic Disney,
Hmm.
I don't know. But I guess that makes sense, you know. Uh, but yeah, I definitely had heard of the Island of the Dolls before.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go with you on that trip. So
No? Oh
you're gonna
man.
you're gonna be on your own
Oh, I
going
thought you'd be
there.
up for it, but that's okay.
I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to some things. I know I've gone on some paranormal investigations with you before. Um, but there's
Yeah.
something about being, um, I don't know, being on a boat floating out to an island, that seems vulnerable to me,
True. That
in
is
a way
true.
that, I don't want to be. So,
You're right, and I'm not really a person that is like a water person,
yeah.
So I don't love water. Like I could, swim in it if I had to. I don't even know, like am I making a fool of myself? Are these channels deep? They probably are. So, but I'm like, could I survive if I needed to swim? Probably. But I mean, yeah, that's okay. I'll I can either go on it alone or but you're right. Yeah. Kind of thinking about all of it now, putting it all together. Yeah, maybe I do need at least one other person. We'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see what Pat says. Pat's gonna be editing this. We'll
Yeah,
see what Pat says if he wants to go to
see
the
if he's
island
interested.
of the dolls.
Let's go.
Maybe he'd be like,
Just south of Mexico City. Yeah, just
yeah.
south of Mexico City and a boat ride away, a ferry ride away on the Trajinera, which it sounded pretty funny. Like some of the people on TripAdvisor were complaining because they were like, wanted to get their spooky on, but like the, Trajinera that they were on, it was like people were, barbecuing and there were like mariachis and like they're having this like big old fiesta. And they're like, this is not the vibe I was
Oh,
going
like living
for.
their lives normally.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah,
there's like, they expected it to be more somber, I guess, or whatever. But, you know,
that's
oh, it's just,
funny.
yeah, it's funny, right? But actually there is one, I mean, it's not really a story per se, but I definitely have encountered a weird creepy doll hanging from a tree story back in Chicago, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it stuck with me like forever. I'll probably never forget it. But um, a friend of mine, like when I used to live on the north side in Andersonville, um, a friend of mine lived like not that she lived like basically right next to a cemetery, which I never really thought about it at the time, but yeah, she did. She lived like literally right next to a cemetery. And one day we're walking around the neighborhood. We're walking her. She had a dog. And she was like, I want you to see this. Like she took me, she's like, you got to see this. It's really creepy. She had seen it before because she lived right there. And so we walked over to this tree, this one tree, like kind of standing alone at the end of the block. And to the tree, there was like this really gnarly, like looked like one of those Island of the dolls hanging up from the tree. But
Yeah.
it was also in a cage, like in like this like
Ew.
kind of like bird cage or something. Yeah.
Ew.
And it just like even thinking about it now gives me the creeps totally. But it I say that because it just was something that didn't look right. And like I asked her, I'm like, when did you start seeing this? And she's like, I don't know, just like it just was up there one day. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what is it? She's like, I have no idea. And I'm like, this is really weird. And so that's funny because I haven't gone ever back to investigate if it's still there or not. I wonder. But yeah, I think it was up. I think it was up there for a while. And it's anyway, it's just really creepy. So if anyone out there in that's living in Andersonville can confirm, it was right
Oh,
behind
yeah.
it's next to the cemetery and behind what was that bar called? Oh my God. Why am I forgetting right now what the bar is called? I should never forget what the bar is called. I can't remember right now though. I think it's because I'm tired. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's near the cemetery. So it is very creepy.
You
But
know, the
yeah.
bar near the cemetery where the doll's hanging in the tree.
Yes, that's the one.
Yep.
Um, I mean, I could say it was near Banana Video, but I don't even know if that's there anymore. Banana Video. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's it is exactly what you it is exactly what you think. I haven't been in there, but because I don't
Mm,
have any need to go in
mm,
there.
mm.
What the hell is the bar called though? I am it's on the tip of my goddamn tongue. Oh my God. Shit. Sorry. I can't remember.
It's okay.
Anyway,
Don't worry.
that's the end of my story for that.
You want to Google it real quick and then we'll just have Pat edit bar
um, the
cemetery
hell?
in
I know
and
I know what it is. I used to go there all
um
the time. Oh, the hell? Okay.
Casey's Tavern, Richard's Bar,
No, no, sorry.
222, Snickers Bar and Grill, Cleo's Bar. That's all I got. Lottie's
No,
Pub.
no. Can you, what the hell? Um, shit. The hell is it called? Wait, I don't think I can.
Simone's Tavern.
No, it's not Simone's.
Lady
Mm,
Gregory. Now I'm just
that's
listing
where I used,
clubs.
that's where I
What?
used to work. I used to
Lady
work at Lady
Gregory?
Gregory.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
yeah, yeah. I used to work there. That was the Irish bar I worked at.
This burger looks
Um,
really good.
oh yeah. Yeah, their food is good. We got
We
a good
got
they had a good kitchen.
we got Fair Guts on Clark.
Yeah, not Farragut's. No. Or as
Uh,
one person I knew used to like to call it forgots. Because
yeah.
if you had too many.
Now
Yeah.
I'm being TripAdvisor right now. Replay Andersonville,
No, not replay.
Fireside,
That's newer.
Little Bad Wolf, Burke,
No,
Burke's Public House,
no.
Barrelman Tavern. Watson
Mm.
doesn't exist anymore. Juve Kitchen and Wine Bar,
No.
Fritzy's Tavern, Hop Leaf, Carol's
Hop
Pub,
Leaf. I love Hop Leaf.
Real
Um,
Madrid, Tapas, Moody's Pub,
mm, Moody's is good too. Um,
Max's Place,
oh,
Meeting House Tavern. Wow, they've got a lot of options here in Andersonville. Bar Roma, Big Joe's, Vincent, the Sofo Tap. Ooh,
Sofo. That's what it is.
it's
Sofo.
Sofo Tap. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Now we
Sofo.
know. I kind of
It's
looked at it and I was like, this looks like an old spot. It's like on the corner
yes.
of like
I don't know what that street is, but yeah, it's Clark and something.
for those, this is what it looks like. That is
Is
a
it Ames? Oh,
beautiful,
yeah, yeah,
that is a
yeah.
beautiful building. It's like on the corner of like an old business building. That is
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah. That's an old
Absolutely.
Chicago building. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what it is. Sofo Tap. Sofo. I was like, I know it starts with an S. Sofo. Yes.
That definitely, I mean, it looks warm and welcoming, but I could also see it being kind of spooky. It looks old. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it could be haunted. Yeah. It's a gay bar. Um and yeah, it's been around there like for years. I don't know exactly what year it became a gay bar, but um yeah, it's a great place. I had
Mhm.
um a lot of friends that work there. I used to go there all the time. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
it's a good place. Yeah. So Sofo Tap is the hanging baby in the tree somewhere.
Yeah, it's
Maybe,
not on their
perhaps. I'm not
website that
sure.
there's a baby hanging in the tree, but
Uh, well, they don't know about it then.
you know.
Well, I
Not
would be
yeah. Well, sorry, what?
I would beware. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would beware either way. I don't know why I haven't looked for that. I guess like I forgot about it after a minute, but this story definitely brought it back to my mind.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Anyways, thank you for the
of
story.
course.
Thank you to everyone listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell people about the podcast. Please check out my TikToks that I make talking about the cute outfits that I wear that most of you don't see because you're only listening and you're not watching on YouTube. But that is okay because please listen. Please just listen. Please uh support us in any way possible.
Yes.
Give us a listen. I hope we're entertaining. Excited for Teresa's new adventures in Las Vegas. That is our sitcom and
Yay.
our next podcast, I guess,
Yeah.
possibly in the future. Teresa's new adventures in Las Vegas. Um,
Yay.
there will be several. And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you again for that wonderful story. And
First.
I hope you all have a wonderful pumpkin spice latte season, coming out spooky season. And creep it real and stay spooky. Ooh.